right. Welcome back to Black Tower Tales. I'm Body. I'll be your player dungeon master for today. We are actually currently on scene 11, following Nyx and Wiggins' Shadow Cloak as they currently are exploring a dungeon beneath a tower in the wilderness that they came across while escaping some bounty hunters. So last time they went into this dungeon, went through a hallway, went and found a portal at the end of it that they went through, killed some skeletons, and when they turned around, found that the portal is just a blank wall. There's no portal there anymore. As far as they know, there's no way back through that same method. So they, to be completely honest, they don't know. Are they still in the same dungeon? Are they halfway across the world? I guess we're gonna just have to figure it out here as we explore the rest of the dungeon. Thankfully, they've got some supplies. They don't have a whole bunch of rations or anything, but they're in a bit of a precarious position right now. So, one other thing that happened last time was they found a shrunken kobold head, and that's something that sort of freaked Wiggins out because it's this nature-based magic that he, as a wizard, isn't comfortable with, and he because of that he's got disadvantage on anything he's got related to wisdom here coming up for the next while in this dungeon. So the two, Wiggins and Nyx, are going to be leaving through one of these doorways. Where they're in a room. There's a stairwell down, but then a couple doors to the left and the right. And we are going to use the Solo Adventurers Toolbox to continue generating this dungeon. Let's see. We know that there are a total of 7 rooms in the dungeon. Actually, so the table that I rolled on last time when they went through the portal was that it was just it took them to a different place in the dungeon, but I sort of like the idea of that they might be 100 miles away or something. So I think that's something that's quite unlikely, but I think it's something that that would be interesting, and I think it should be a possibility. So, we had 7 rooms in the dungeon when we started it, and I'm just going to say that we're going to stick to that 7 rooms. But when they inevitably find the exit, or have to make an exit, potentially, they're going to... We're going to determine right now, are they really far away? So we're at Chaos 5 because we had the Chaos go up after the previous episode. But I think it's very unlikely that they are very far away. Is it the question? The yes/no question is this sort of in the same dungeon comp? Is this room that they're in after going through the portal still under the same castle? So actually, so the way I phrase it, it's a very likely roll. So that's going to be a 75. Actually, it's a nearly certain roll. So 75% chance. 73. Ooh, that was a close one. Whew. So we as sort of the DM side of things know that it's the dungeon is still under the castle. But the next scene that we have, we're going to say, is them going through this doorway right here. And that's the expected scene. So now we get to roll on the chaos factor to test that. And we got a 7, so that's over the chaos factor. And we don't have an altered or interrupt scene. So now, as we open the door to this area, we're going to see 1 to 4. It's going to be On a 1 and a 2, it's going to be a passage, and a 3 and 4, it's going to be a room. There we go. So this door opens up to just another room. And the nature of the room, it is a square that is D8 plus 1 on every side. So it's a 30-30 room. That's not too small. And there are 1d8 exits. So it's... And let's see how many exits they are. That's potentially a lot of exits. 2 exits, okay. So I'm going to say there's another exit over here and another doorway over there. Now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to roll on this room contents table instead of going back to the 60-12 method. And let's see what's in this room. We get a 45. So it's a level appropriate easy encounter. So we get to come back here with the encounter generator. And this table, here we go. So 2 PCs, they're really level 1 still. Level 1 easy is 1 PC level 1 medium encounter. So we've got a D4 roll that's going to determine what it is. So we've got 2 CR0 monsters. And then we're going to go to the dungeon table. Or the urban table. And so basically I'm just going to choose here. We've got, instead of we only have a couple small guys in this room. So I think there's going to be 3 little spider guys in here. So Wiggins and Nyx enter this room and find they find 3 sort of skeleton looking, like really undead spiders come down from the ceiling as they enter the room. These guys, the skeletons actually, or the skeleton spiders, let's see how they react to the pair entering the room. 73. That's going to say monster views this area as its territory and you as a challenger. They attack immediately, trying to drive you backward. Essentially, I'm going to say that their sort of first round was taken either dropping down from the walls or from the ceiling. But now it is Nyx and Wiggins' turn. So Nyx is going to... I think she's going to have her bow out, and she's going to attempt to shoot one of them. Let's say the number 6 over here. We've got target 12, and she's got a +2, so that's definitely going to hit, and she's got a D6. So for 4, +1, so she does a 5 damage to. I'm gonna say this is a 2 heart. Actually, it's an easy encounter, so it's even though there's 3 of them, it's just gonna be one heart overall for the encounter. And then with Wiggins' turn, he's actually going to sort of, I guess, be inspired by the skeletons, or by the fact that these skeletons are in the form of spiders, and try to use some sort of magic spell to bind these two over here in place. Like, not really a web, but like have some little ropes, I think, that come out of the ground, and like spectral ropes that tie their spidery appendages and make them unable to move. So I think this is going to be something that is going to be difficult for him. So it's going to be target 15, because this isn't really a normal spell. And he's going to have a +2. So he does not make it. He waves his wand around and casts, and like little magical sparks or whatnot come out, but the ropes either aren't long enough to get around the spiders, or they don't get any purchase on their legs. But now it's the spiders' turn. So their attempt, what they're going to do basically is they're just going to charge, and instead of attacking, they're just going to be pushing them through the doorway. So the door behind them is still hanging open, and they're all going to make it's. I'm going to say since they're working together, it's going to be like a combined strength check against these two that they have like advantage on. So they're so it's a 3 and a 6. 6 at, and we'll say +2, so they have an 8 on their check to sort of just push them through the door. So yeah, it's basically it's almost like the spiders are tackling them. They're like they're coming up and rearing on their hind legs and like trying to force the pair back out through the door, but they didn't roll very well, even though there's 3 of them working together. I think maybe in my mind, even though they're spiders, they're still kind of small, but they're still small in comparison to the small gnomes. So let's see, Wiggins and Nyx, they're sort of on their flat foot. They were both attacking, so I don't think they have advantage on getting pushed out. But for Wiggins, yeah, he gets a 15. He doesn't get pushed out. And then Nyx, also, she has just a 6. So Nyx is actually gonna, this spider is actually going to be pushing Nyx out into the previous room. Oh, buddy. Leaving Wiggins in this room with the other 2. So Nyx, once again, now that the spider is close to her, she's going to drop her bow and strike at this spider here, getting a 10, so that does not hit. And then Wiggins has his own dagger that he's going to use and slash at one of the spiders. And he's got just a +0, so he's not super great at this. 11, that is also not going to hit. So unfortunately, the spiders now, as far as this turn, what are they going to do? 42. They are just going to do a normal attack. So I think the spider that pushed Nyx out is going to attempt to use some sort of skeletal webbing in order to stick her in place and keep her out of the room. Has a +2, but so that's a 9 +2, 11, does not hit the target. And the other 2 are just going to attack Wiggins. Oh, 1 hits. Oopsie. And a 12 will also hit. 1, 2, 3 total damage. So Wiggins is down to 7 hit points. All All right. And now we're back to Nyx's turn, where she's gonna attempt. Let's see. What does she have? Anything? No, actually, what she's gonna do is she has boots of striding. So instead of attempting to stay, she sees that that guy's trying to keep her in place. She's going to use the speed of her boots to dash past the spider. I'm gonna say that's a, because she has magical speed enhanced boots. I think it's gonna be an easy thing to do, but it's gonna be still target 9 attempt. Yeah, so with a 15 plus 2, because it's Dex, she does just fine. And now that she's got some speed, or some distance between them, she actually doesn't have her bow anymore, but let's see. Actually, she rolled pretty well on that, so I'm going to say she succeeded really well and picked up her bow on the way. She was just moving so quick. And then now is able to turn around and take a shot at... I'm going to say take a shot at one of the ones near Wiggins. With an 18. All right. And that's 3 more damage. And with that, I think actually one of the spiders gets an arrow in its large carapace backside and slumps down and is dead, basically. So now that it's Wiggins' turn, he's just going to go to the side here and actually just use his wand as to make just a basic magic attack, blazing fire at the spider that's in front of him. Target 12 as a 14. That's definitely going to hit. And actually, that's 5 plus 3 additional damage, so that's another 8. So yeah, with that, actually, this spider also is going to get just straight up incinerated. And as they turn to face this spider, let's see what the reaction table says that we would get. 73. Yeah, so roll on random combat event table. So I don't think anything... so I'm gonna say we don't really have a combat event table to pull from, but with the fate chart, I think it's very likely that this spider is going to run away. So it's nearly certain. 85% chance, 88% chance. So not only does the spider skeleton not run away, it's a double, but it's not below our chaos factor, so it's not a random event. But the skeleton doesn't try to run away. He instead attacks at Wiggins. This time, I think, trying to bite him with the fangs on the front of the spider's mouth that are going to try to inject him with some sort of undead poison. 9 versus target 12. That's not going to hit. And then the other two, because we've already surpassed the hearts, I'm going to say that they are able to clean up this last spider to end the combat encounter. Alright, so now what we're going to do, in order to see what else is in this room, we already figured out the monster part of it, so we're not going to roll the black die. But for the rest of the room, we can see if there's any other information here. For the blue die, we have a 5. That's going to be nothing. For the white die, we have a 4. That's going to be nothing. The model die is a 9, so that's also not anything. Yellow, we had a 12, so okay. So there was individual enemies. So with the yellow die, if it's a 12, uh, and there's enemies, that means there's a treasure hoard here. So that's cool. And then the clear is no. It was too low, so there's nothing here as far as the random events. So it's as the bones of the skeleton spiders sort of crumple to the ground. They look around and see that there's actually a pile of what initially looked like it was just detritus, but it was, just it's like it's a pile of treasure. It's a pile of gold that was just covered in spider, like the webbing and just bones and things that the spiders have been capturing down here, and like rat bones and things like that. So let's see what is in this loot. 152. So if there's anything past just money. Yeah, if there's any magic items. In fact, I think we're gonna roll on this CR table. I'm gonna say, is it? Oh, buddy. Is it a CR 1/4 or a CR 1/8? So these guys, this was an easy encounter. So I think I'm leaning towards CR 1/8, and that's going to be a likely. It's likely it was CR, or very likely it was CR 1/8. So it's 75% chance. 6. So not only, yeah. So it's a hell yeah. So it's definitely a CR 1/8 on this table. So now in this pile of treasure, they find 600 copper, let's say 612 copper, 103 silver pieces. I don't like Electrum, so we're just going to skip that. 43 gold pieces, 3d6 platinum pieces, 1, 3, 9, 6, 6 platinum, and 1d4 gems. Okay, so I like 2 gems. I think one of them is going to be a ruby, and one of them is going to be like what's green? Is that sapphire? No, emeralds are green. And then for magic items, I think it's very unlikely that there's some sort of magic item in this pile, but I think I want to have the chance. So we're going to say it's nearly impossible, because it's a small dungeon that, they're just little spiders. It's not like they would have probably been able to kill anyone that has a magic item, but I think there's a chance. So we're at 15% because we're at Chaos 5. 76. So yeah, no, there's no magic items here. But there's this decent pile of money, which is cool. And actually, let's just draw that real quick. In fact, I like the idea that this pile of money was actually bound up in like a spider web, and when they slashed at it, like they see all this money spill out, and these gems dangle, or not dangle, tinkle as the coins hit the ground. And let's see. So that's this next room in this dungeon. And I think that is going to be the end of this scene. And let's see, cast. I don't think there's anything additional about the cast that we learned from this scene. I don't think there's any additional threads. We do know that there's more skeletons in this dungeon, but we already knew that. So yeah, I don't think that stuff as far as the mythic generator gets changed. So it's scene 12. Going into scene 12, we have chaos. Do I think chaos goes up or down? I think this is pretty well under control. So I'm going to say chaos 4. And then target, I think target stays at 12. Because it wasn't too easy, wasn't too hard. In fact, it was an easy encounter. So for it being as easy as it was, they didn't take care of it very quickly, or very easily. So yeah, I think target stays at 12. And yeah, with that, that's gonna end the scene. We'll see you next time.